Hey, I just want to say good morning to everyone. I'm Mark Hilmer with the Fulton Montgomery Regional Chamber of Commerce, and it's a pleasure to join you today as we welcome the New York State Department of Labor that will be presenting today's Tools for Success event covering shared work and business engagement services. I had the opportunity to preview shared work last week as it was presented by Steve Ryan, project manager during the Chamber Alliance of New York State's Fall Leadership Conference, and it was quite interesting, I have to say. Shared work is a talent retention service that continues to be essential for businesses dealing with inflation, supply chain issues, and other unpredictable market conditions. You also will be hearing from Amy Perry, Human Resources Coordinator, and Nicole Heck, Recruiter, both of the Alpenhaus Ski Shop, a local business, and one of our chamber members who will be speaking on how shared work was a strong asset during the pandemic and prior. Business engagement will be discussed by Laurie Thomson, Deputy Director, on the myriad of recruitment services available to businesses at no cost, which the Alpenhaus uses on a regular basis. You will be pleasantly surprised by the recruitment options, hiring incentives, and even human resource consultation that can be customized to meet your workforce needs. And with that, with no further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce Steve Ryan and Laurie Thomson, who will offer these services as part of your strategic management toolbox. Steve?
Thank you, Mark. So the Department of Labor has been actively promoting the shared work program, and Laurie is out all over the state promoting our business engagement services. As we go through this presentation today, I really want you all to think about how these services can benefit you to meet operational needs. We recently, actually last night, came back from the Innovation Summit in Buffalo. There was a lot of interest in the shared work program and our recruitment services to new entrepreneurs. So as we go through this today, we're going to leave some time for questions and answers, but really think about how we can help you. We have teams here that are very committed to helping businesses from Long Island to Buffalo. So talking about shared work. Shared work was a lifeline to thousands of businesses during COVID. It was mainly pre-COVID used by manufacturers. But during COVID, 3,500 businesses used the shared work program. So when we were in COVID, I had to move 1,100 staff from workforce development over to unemployment insurance. They were needed to help process claims and make sure that New Yorkers got paid. They moved me and several other of my colleagues over to the shared work program, and we worked with the UI staff on modernizing the program to make sure that we could serve businesses on the shared work end. So as I mentioned, it was traditionally used by manufacturing, but interesting, it was the number one employer that used it was a hospital in New York City. Now, that may seem odd to you, but you have to remember during COVID, elective surgeries were off the table because the hospitals were needed for the COVID patients. So that was very interesting. But now we are promoting it to be used by almost every industry in the state. So as you can see, you have construction, you have finance and insurance, retail, trade, transportation, nonprofits, and more. And I'll be talking about how they took advantage of this program and how it really helped them survive COVID. At this point in time, I'd like to turn it over to Nicole Heck from Alpenhaus, who will be talking about how they have used shared work over the course of time.
Thank you. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Nicole. I'm the recruiter at Alpenhaus. And for those of you who are not familiar with our company, we are an outdoor recreation family business with 5 locations in New York. We sell everything from RVs to snowmobiles, skis, boats, pools, and spas, anything, outdoor recreation that's fun. We employ over 200 people across all of our locations in many of our different areas. Sales, service, technicians, finance, retail sales, parts and accessories, and so on. Since we started utilizing the shared work, we have seen nothing but benefits from it. one of the biggest benefits is that we're able to retain our key employees. So our key employees are our technicians and our frontline staff. And during our slow season, which is typically, the winter, normally, we'd have to lay them off or put them on unemployment. And a lot of times our employees at that point who want to work year round will go find another job. But shared work has allowed us to retain those key employees. It's been the greatest benefit to us on the RV side every year. And last year, we had a total of 80 employees on shared work from all of our locations, and we were able to retain 74 of them. Shared work is really to everybody's benefit. The service allows us to be financially smart with our payroll during our slow season. And at the same time, our employees get the opportunity to continue, their stable income and their years of service. We have had a lot of employees who now have chosen to, hey, if you need to put somebody on shared work, put me on shared work. I have grandkids I can take care of, and I don't mind doing that. It's going to allow me to still, come into work a couple days and keep my position. So we've really seen nothing but benefits from it. And to the point, our employees actually don't mind, being put on shared work now.
Thank you, Nicole. Yeah, exactly what you talked about. This is a retention program. And really, this is shared work is so beneficial because it is about retaining key employees, especially with the tight labor market today, especially your skilled employees. So I think you explaining how you used it is exactly how we promote the program. So thank you for that. So as Nicole mentioned, shared work is the best way to avoid layoffs, but more importantly, retain employees. It is used to respond to challenging business cycles. It is used, especially in today's times, for all those challenging obstacles that businesses face. We talk about supply chain. We're going to be talking about how we promote this program, but supply chain has impacted businesses across the state. Just recently, we did an e-blast to the financial sector because of the rising interest rates. Mortgage lenders have dried, those mortgages have dried up. So we are really strategically here at the Department of Labor promoting this program to make sure that it benefits businesses across the state and they're able to retain their employees. It is different than unemployment, and I'll be describing that as we go through this presentation, but it really does help retain the skilled workforce for our businesses. Another reason we're using shared work is for seasonal operations. And this is, Nicole, you're a great example of that. When we started really promoting this back in January, we really did look at seasonal businesses because mostly seasonal businesses, I'll just say upstate, they work from April 1st to September 30th. Businesses really want to bring people back sooner so they can get up and running. So April 1st, they're hitting the pavement, and providing services. But if they have to bring people back April 1st, I've been told it takes 5 to 10 business days just to get up and operational. So if you can bring people back earlier, it's better for the New York State economy. It's better for the employees. It shows that you care. And we have found that to be beneficial. We are now promoting it on the back end. So, weather dictates a lot of operations in New York State. So we're hoping that businesses take advantage of the shared work program on the back end. So New York State, during a downtime, USDOL provides the states an opportunity to apply for a grant. So we applied for a grant in 2021, and we did get $6.5 million to promote this program, help with our systems, so it's more streamlined and it's easier for businesses. So the department, I oversee the promotional opportunities, and it's really been very beneficial as we have outreach to hundreds of thousands of businesses. We use Dun & Bradstreet as our lead generation tool. So we have hundreds of thousands of emails from that. And we do strategic e-blasts, as I mentioned, supply chain. We did one for HVAC because they have downturns in the spring and the fall. We talk about small businesses. We have done e-blasts to them. So we have hit over 500,000 emails. We have had over 120,000 business contacts open the emails. We follow up with calls after we do that so that we can answer any of those questions, because it can be very complex to businesses and having to translate that to the decision makers. We are out there doing presentations like this. We have done roughly about 25 presentations. We have done trade shows. We did the SHRM trade show last month. We did the Business Council, and we just did the Innovation Summit this week. So we are doing everything in our power to make sure that we get the word out on shared work. So how does it help a business? Well, it avoids layoffs, and it helps keep the skilled workforce attached to the business. We know that a turnover costs approximately 6 to 9 months' salary when replacing an employee. So, we're making sure that we get the word out and businesses are able to take advantage of this. We want to make sure that, businesses don't lose productivity. We know how important that is. They are able to bring back furloughed employees. I just talked to a business yesterday that furloughed employees. Now he wants to use the shared work because he can use it half-time. So he wants to bring back 30 of his employees so that, he can still meet operational needs. But during a tough time, he can't bring them back full-time. This really does help morale too. And I think, Nicole, you said it right. I mean, the employees really do like this program. We've heard this time and time again. So we've been very fortunate that we've been able to promote this and talk about the benefits of the program. As we've mentioned, it is a lifeline to businesses to combat seasonal periods, downturns. And I think the most important thing about shared work is the flexibility. Businesses are able to adjust their shared work plans on a weekly basis. It is easy for the employees to go in and certify every week. If employers have a problem certifying, we have staff here that will walk them through the whole process and help them with the technical nature. On the employee side, we do know that some people have obstacles with technology. So we work with the employer and make sure that the employees are able to certify every week. And we do have designated staff here at the department that can help them during the certification process. So with shared work, you're able to reduce staff from 20 to 60%. So I'll give you an example. We're going to go through an example where if you need to reduce your labor by 20%, that would reduce them from 40 hours to 32. Everything is based on a 40-hour work week. It also provides an option to recall furloughed employees, like I just talked about. And it does help businesses gear up. One of the most interesting things that we use shared work for during COVID was the hospitality. So when businesses were able to provide takeout, they were able to bring staff back to do that. But that was not 100%. So the hospitality industry took advantage of this to bring back the number of staff they needed to do the takeout during COVID. All right, here's an example of shared work. As I mentioned, if you want to reduce by 20%, you would pay, the employer would pay the employee for 32 hours and unemployment would cover the other 8 hours. Now, talking about this, there is a big difference. Unemployment is based on a 30-hour work week. Shared work is based on a 40-hour work week. There is no limit for shared work. When you're on unemployment, there's a $504 limit. So say an employee makes $500 a day, $2,500 a week. So, and they need to reduce by 20%. That the employer would pay $2,000 to the employee, and then shared work would cover 50%, basically unemployment is 50% of the wages for that percentage. So that employee would get $250 from shared work. If they were on unemployment, they would be ineligible because they crossed that $504 threshold. That's a big difference. The other difference is that under shared work, benefits must remain whole. So it's a win-win for the employer and win-win for the employee. Wow. During COVID, as we really had to make some drastic changes to the shared work program, it was basically done by paper. There were days that we had certifications for employees for shared work. We had 5,000 coming in a day. It was crazy. And pre-COVID, if you went to our website, it said it would take approximately 3 weeks for a plan to be approved. We had to change all that. We had to automate everything, and we did. Yeah, there were some challenges on that. We had a business in Syracuse that was using shared work. The HR director said she spent 3 days of her week just doing the paper certification. Once we automated it, once she had her plans set up, it took her 5 minutes a week to work the shared work program. It really did help when we automated the whole process. As we talk about gear down, gear up, I mean, we really want to help businesses, especially during turbulent times. Employees work a reduced schedule. As I mentioned, you're able to recall furloughed employees on a part-time, full-time basis. And when things improve, businesses, can bring everybody back full-time and so forth. When I talk about the flexibility of this program is that if you need to use this program 1 week because you don't have the orders to maintain a full workforce, you use it. If the next week you have those orders, you just don't certify. So it really does, the flexibility of this program is amazing, and it's one that we really do promote. Okay, the shared work eligibility for the business: employ at least 2 full-time employees working in New York State, must be part of the UI system and pay 4 consecutive calendar quarters. In lieu of contributions to the system, you can elect a reimbursement process. On the employee side, must be fully available for work, for shared work. Now, interesting is that if you are on partial unemployment, there is a job search requirement. Under shared work, there is not one. So that is a big incentive for the employer and the employee. So it really does keep them attached to the business. As Nicole said, if you do lay somebody off, you may lose that person because they're going to be looking for a different job. Under shared work, there is the retention is much greater. So employees can be full-time, part-time, seasonal, intermittent, or temporary. So it goes across the gamut of workers. Application process, as I've talked about. You first need to think about how you're going to meet operational needs. Everything is done online through your UI online services account. And if people do have issues, we have staff that will walk you through the process from start to finish. We will provide any technical assistance that is necessary. As I mentioned, pre-COVID, it took 3 weeks to get a plan approved. We are approving plans within 24 to 48 hours. It's amazing the dedication of the staff here at the Labor Department. And you've all heard those stories that nobody couldn't get through and so forth. Listen, during COVID, it really was crazy around here. But under shared work, we have designated people to help out with the shared work program. So on the employer side, you reduce work hours and corresponding wages. Based on a 40-hour work week, as I mentioned, fringe benefits cannot be reduced. They must remain whole. Plans are in place for 53 weeks. Now, I can't tell you why it's 53. Nobody can give me that answer. The shared work program has been in place in New York State since the 1980s, but all plans are 53 weeks. When you have a shared work plan and you have units that are involved, you cannot hire additional employees. If somebody leaves, you would work with your account executive and get that technical assistance to backfill. But there's no need to hire somebody if you're reducing your workforce. So that's the only caveat when using the shared work plan. On the claim side, the employees go in and they go to the shared work portal. They file their claim under their account. It's very simple. If they have issues, we have staff that will help them throughout the process. So it really is a win-win. And all the employers that we have dealt with, and I've dealt with hundreds and hundreds of employers through this process, they have really come to love the program and continue to use it year after year. As I mentioned, most plans are approved within 48 hours. We have 93% certifying online. You're going to ask about the other 7%. Well, that is if people have back certifications, they still need to do paper on that. We're in the process of hopefully rectifying that, so it's 100%. The support you will get from the Labor Department is second to none. We have dedicated staff here to help, and we really did work on providing better customer service through the pandemic. We have improved our communication across all divisions. We are marketing this across the state actively, and we are on the phones providing the service necessary for businesses to take advantage of this. So we listened to businesses during COVID. Shared work was normally used 7 weeks a year under the shared work plans. But during COVID, businesses needed it for the full 26 weeks. Once those 26 weeks ran out, businesses are like, we need more. So we listened to businesses. So last year, Labor Day, the governor signed in a bill that went from 26 weeks maximum to 26 weeks times the individual's benefit rate. So what does that mean? Say somebody's eligible for the full amount of unemployment, $504. You'd multiply that by 26 times and it's a little over $13,000. So what happens is shared work now they draw down against that 13,000. When I did an analysis of how that would impact businesses, in almost every case, it would go beyond the 26 weeks. So it really was a win-win. And the business community was very happy that we were able to make that legislative change. Here are just some of our links, and you will be getting this presentation sent out to you. So it will give you the links for the businesses, for the employees, and some videos. And if you need any questions, there is my information. So at this point in time, I'd like to turn it over to Laurie Thomson, our Deputy Director of Business Engagement for the New York State Department of Labor.
Thank you, Steve. Good morning, everybody. Like Steve said, my name is Laurie Thomson. I oversee our business engagement unit here at the Department of Labor. The business engagement unit is part of our Division of Employment and Workforce Solutions. There's a couple of different units that are under business engagement, which I'll get into a little bit. But by way of introduction, for those that may not be familiar with business engagement and what we do and what we offer, we are part of the system that connects over 250,000 individuals to career and training opportunities each year. Our mission is pretty simple. It's to connect talent pipelines to the opportunities of our business customers. We assist businesses who are growing and thriving through our business services teams who are located all across the state. And we also help businesses that are facing downsizing and closures. As you heard from Steve, one of our tools is the shared work program, but we also have a rapid response team that's located throughout the state in the event that a business does need to close or does need to downsize and lay off a portion of their workforce. We hold an average of 1,500 customized recruitments and job fairs annually to connect job seekers with businesses. Obviously, the pandemic affected those numbers a little bit, but if you're familiar with us, we're back out there. We're back out to doing these events again, so that average will kind of even out as we move forward. We also maintain the tools and resources to provide no-cost services to our customers. As you heard in the intro, anything that I talk about here today is going to be no cost. So just keep that in mind. And I will be kind of talking about the cost savings of some of the services that we offer as well. So one of the first recruitment tools that we have is our New York State Job Bank. Our New York State Job Bank is the Department of Labor's main source for job posting and job seeker resume reviewing by you as the business. There's over 465,000 jobs on the New York State Job Bank. Those jobs do include jobs from neighboring states, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, so on. But New York State actually has over 245,000 jobs as well that are connected to a New York State zip code. So still a really large number that kind of gives you a sense of how many businesses take advantage of this opportunity to post jobs and get the information out there to our job seekers at no cost. So the New York State Job Bank allows our business customers to manage their job postings throughout the recruitment process. If you create a self-service account on the New York State Job Bank, you post your jobs, you edit them when you need to edit them, you take them down or let them expire, and you're able to keep an archive of everything that you've posted. It also enables businesses to search resumes of thousands of job seekers, and really gives the flexibility to post opportunities in multiple ways. I mentioned the self-service account where businesses can post their jobs. We also have what's called an indexing feature. So if you're a business that has a career site, we can set up a one-to-one feed where all of your jobs are scraped from your career site right onto the New York State Job Bank in an overnight refresh. And once that's set up, there's nothing else that needs to happen other than you're just updating things on your end as you normally would, and it gets updated on the New York State Job Bank. Probably about 90% of the jobs that we have on our New York State Job Bank come in through this method, because obviously the convenience factor of being able to get the jobs and having them there in real time. And the nice thing about our job bank as well, and really something that our job seekers like, is that they see a job on our New York State Job Bank, they click on it, and it goes right to your career site, right to that job opportunity. So it really kind of minimizes extra clicks and places that they need to go to get to the right place. So the next slide will showcase some benefits. I said I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about cost savings. The numbers that I'll throw out are really quite conservative, honestly. But by posting jobs with us on the New York State Job Bank, you can see cost savings of up to $8,000 a year. Obviously, we know how much it costs to post jobs on Indeed, post jobs on ZipRecruiter and other fee sites like that. And a lot of times too, those sites will go out and look at resumes and send you qualified candidates, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the candidate's interested in your opportunity. So sometimes the advertising around some of those sites where they're, ZipRecruiter, where they'll get you qualified candidates, within a day or something like that. And a lot of times that's just their algorithm grabbing, qualified candidates and putting them in front of you. And you still have to do the work to, to get their interest. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the marketing that we do in a little bit and how we kind of hone in and get really qualified candidates in front of you for your opportunities. But you get lots of exposure by posting with us. Obviously saving money, saving time. If you're, using the indexing feature, there's, really no time lost at all. And we do see a lot of traffic to the New York State Job Bank. And this number, again, is probably a little bit low. It's probably a bit higher than this, but we do see over 40,000 unique job seekers that visit the New York State Job Bank on a monthly basis. So it really allows you to, build that large pool of qualified candidates and making it as easy as possible for you to do so. So this is just a picture, and sorry, this slide is very busy, but I wanted to kind of show the different microsites that we have. So we have what's called microsites, and really what this is it's taking or parsing out jobs that are on the New York State Job Bank. I told you there's over 400,000 jobs on the New York State Job Bank. That can be a little bit overwhelming to a job seeker sometimes. So what we've done is we've highlighted through these microsites some areas that are of interest to our job seeking customers. So one of them being seasonal jobs. We obviously know that our business customers who have seasonal opportunities, these are critical. They ramp up fast. They need to fill large numbers of opportunities for a period of time. So we've highlighted seasonal opportunities through a microsite. During the pandemic, when a lot of businesses were closing down and laying people off, there was some industries that were growing and thriving and more critical than ever. Obviously, as you can imagine, the healthcare industry, the food manufacturing, distribution, cleaning, those were jobs that were there and that were critical. And there were people that were looking to, find something supplemental, or maybe they know that business has closed down for good and they need to find another opportunity. So we launched an immediate hiring opportunities microsite so we could put those jobs that were available now in front of our job seekers, and then obviously highlighting for the businesses those opportunities as well on a bit smaller of a scale. We've partnered with our sister agency, Empire State Development. They have an I Love New York team that's really focused on industry and or tourism within New York State. So we have a tourism industry microsite highlighting opportunities across the state and the beautiful parks and the beautiful places that we have here in the state, and job opportunities around that. And then we also have a part-time microsite as well, because we found, from job seekers, sometimes it's a little bit hard to kind of pull out those part-time opportunities that they may be looking for. So recruitment events, I mentioned this right in the beginning. We, prior to the pandemic, were doing over, on average 1,500 recruitment events and job fairs. We do large regional career fairs where we'll bring, together 150, 200 businesses at a time in a large venue, or we do smaller mini job fairs in our career centers or community centers or libraries within communities where our customers are located. So kind of runs the gamut. We also do dedicated recruitment events. So if there's, if you're a business with a large need, or you're opening up a new location, or maybe it's a business that's coming to the state new, and they want to do a dedicated event, we have the ability to do that as well. So again, the cost savings, pretty conservative here, but by participating in our events, as they're no cost, you could save up to $13,000 per year utilizing that. We know that even a virtual booth at a career fair or a trade show can be upwards of $500 or more, and in-person events can be probably even more than that. So we have the ability to market. We bring large numbers of job seekers, qualified job seekers, to these events. So even though it's a no-cost event, some of our business customers find that they have more success with our events than any paid event that they've ever been to. So again, some of the benefits of it beyond the cost savings is that it can help you access top talent in one place at one time. These are obviously motivated job seekers. They've printed their resume, they've gotten dressed up, they've driven to the place where the event is happening. So they're motivated. It also reduces the recruiting time. And helps businesses reach, again, highly motivated job seekers. I mentioned that. The one particular thing with the reducing the recruitment time, and I'll talk a little bit about our virtual career fairs that we launched at the end of 2020, but those events in particular have really helped businesses reduce the recruitment time because there's a chat feature, but there's also an integrated video chat feature there, and businesses have utilized this tool as an initial interview space to do initial interviews, or because they have the job seeker right there, they're in their office because they're able to be remote while they're doing this event. They're actually scheduling interviews, and the job seeker is leaving the event with maybe 2 or 3 interviews set up for the following days, and they leave with excitement, and they're even more motivated than when they came in. And obviously then for the business, again, recruiting your cutting down your recruitment time by having that ability to do that and see your calendar at the same time. So I mentioned some of the marketing that we do. We do a ton of marketing. We do a lot of marketing on social media. We do a ton of emailing directly to our job seeking customers. And if you're participating in one of our events, there's a lot of visibility. The information is getting out there about the event. A lot of times we're letting job seekers know, here's the top 5 businesses with the most job openings coming to an event. So there's, the ability to get your name out there and also share and show the connection on your channels as well. So this is just a couple screenshots of monthly calendars that our communications team puts out ahead of our virtual career fairs. So they're letting one of them is job seeker facing, the other one is talking to you, the business, to say here's our upcoming save the dates for the virtual job fairs that we're having this month, and more information to come, kind of thing. Here's some other social media marketing. And again, I mentioned, if you look at the bottom left, there's this one in particular. It's calling out some of the businesses that have a large number of openings that are going to be at a particular event. We partner a lot of times with other agencies. As you can see on the right, we've done a couple of tourism focused job fairs. And we also have partnered with New York State Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins to do a career fair recently as well. So this is just kind of an example of some of the marketing that we have done around those events. And then we do flyers for all our events too. So I'll call your attention to the one on the right. This is, we have these for our virtual events, but also our in-person events, our mini job fairs, and we'll, put the name of the business, put some of the opportunities that are going to be available at the event, so that job seekers come knowing, oh, I want to talk to this business, or oh, they have cleaner opportunities. That's for me. I'm gonna go to that because they have opportunities there that are for me. And then again, over on the left, just kind of calling out some businesses and, talking about how many businesses, how many opportunities will be available, and really creating excitement and attention around the opportunity to participate. So going a little bit further with the marketing, I mentioned that one of the big marketing pieces that we have is our emailing, and Steve talked about this too. They, in the shared work unit and their, promotion, they utilize the blast emailing mechanism as well, because it is so effective. So there's just some numbers there on top about, the numbers of emails and job seekers that we've connected with through our email blast last year. But really, something I want to stress even more so is just how we're able to, we have skilled staff here that know how to grab the attention of the reader. We know how hard it is for you as the business to recruit people right now. It's an interesting time. I mean, we're seeing once again historic lows on unemployment insurance. It's definitely back to pre-pandemic, if not lower. And so you really have to sell yourself. We're no longer in a place where job seekers are lining up and they have to sell themselves to us as the business. We really have to sell our business to the job seeker. We did a workforce survey several months ago at this point, to kind of get a sense of what kind of struggles businesses are having, but also what struggles are job seekers having, but also what do they want, what's important to them. And really one of the biggest things was the benefits, the flexibility, the work-life balance, particularly for younger workers, is sometimes even more important than wages. But still, wages are, we know, a top thing. And so we have the ability to have a conversation with you as the business to say, when was the last time you updated your marketing language or your job description, and what are some things that we can kind of put in the forefront to put this in front of our readers to say, oh wow, that's a good pay, let me read more, or oh wow, they have great benefits, I never knew that, let me read more. So we do that to catch the attention of the reader. We have, we know how to write some actionable subject lines. We want to make it quick and easy, right? You don't want to read this whole long novel when you're looking at an email, when you have other things going on. So we make it quick, we make it easy, we're to the point. Where can I go to apply? Because yes, you've caught my attention, I'm interested, what do I do now? And really we have the ability to, and I said this early on too, hone in on the right people. So we're not just, it's not just mass marketing, letting everybody know about every job, but really honing in and saying, okay, this job requires a driver's license, or this particular experience and this number of years of experience. So we can look at, our job seeking customers, and I'll kind of digress a bit and say, this isn't just, we're not just marketing to people that are collecting unemployment insurance, as I tell you that we're seeing low numbers. This is, as you can imagine, over the course of the last couple of years during the pandemic, thousands and millions of people have hit our system. There might be people that are looking for something better, something different. So we're also marketing to those individuals, as long as they're within a geographic location of the position, as long as they have the requirements that are needed. The other thing too is you could come to us and say, I need a particular certification, or I need bilingual candidates. So we really, again, have the ability to hone in on exactly what you need and what you're looking for. We're not going to bring to you individuals that don't have a bachelor's degree if that's a requirement of the job. And we can look at, zip code level, county, because sometimes there's areas, we may have positions all over the state, but oh wow, I'm really having a problem getting people in this particular Harry County. I have this job in Gilboa and I'm having a really hard time, getting people for that. So, again, in one of the other counties in the area. So again, not to hammer home, but we do have the ability to really target market and get the right people in front of you. All right, so the next is the hiring incentives. A lot of tax credits available. So there's a variety of incentives and tax credits available, training funds as well, which we won't get too deep into, but we can certainly connect after and talk a little bit more about that. It really allows businesses to hire, train, retain, and save money in the meantime. So I won't go through every tax credit here on the list, but I'll call out a couple. So the first, the work opportunity tax credit. This is a tax credit for that businesses can save up to $2,400 a month. $2,400 in federal tax savings for hiring individuals that have barriers to employment. So what does that mean? There's a whole list of targeted individuals who would meet this. And again, I won't go through all of them, but individuals that are receiving temporary assistance for needy families, or TANF. Or those that are receiving SNAP benefits, someone that has a service-related disability, someone who's been unemployed for at least 4 weeks in the previous calendar year, ex-offenders. So the list goes on, but that's just some of the criteria there. The workers with disabilities employment tax credit, again, for hiring individuals who have a disability and who currently receive vocational rehabilitation services. So that tax credit can earn a business up to $2,100 more in state tax credits. The New York Youth Jobs Program. This is a tax credit program to hire youth between the ages of 16 and 24. It really helps, promote the opportunity to help a youth get a good start in their career. And businesses can earn tax credits of up to $7,500 per youth for full-time employment, or up to $3,750 per youth for part-time employment. So there's a link at the bottom, and I know you're going to get this presentation, but there's a link at the bottom to connect to others as well. So the last piece of the presentation is human resources consultation services. Sorry. So we have staff throughout the state that can help businesses with a variety of human resources at no cost. And this is really kind of a service that's going to be targeted to smaller, medium-sized businesses that don't have a robust HR department or a legal team, to take care of some of those things. So we can help with job analysis, skills gap analysis. We can help create and update employee handbooks. As we know, those need to be updated every so often. We can help you get connected to legal compliance. So we are not legal experts. We are not lawyers here in our group, but we can get you connected with the right information. We can take a look at employment applications and assist there. We can help you put together interview questions or help with interview techniques if you're maybe not hiring the right people you're realizing and need assistance there. We can help you create employee orientations, look at turnover analysis. We can help create exit surveys if you are losing people and you kind of want to get a sense of what's going on. We can help develop exit surveys. And so, any kind of HR service, and a lot of it too is just kind of having somebody to talk through an issue with and get connected to resources a lot of times too. So we have business services teams all across the state, and I'll call out obviously our Mohawk Valley associate, James Bepko. He's actually on the presentation with us here today. That's his information on the top right. But we do have, if you're a business that has locations in, or opportunities or needs in other parts of the state here, this is the full list of our team. These are our associates. These are the leads for each of the regions. And then obviously I'm always available as well. If anybody needs to reach out and has a need or a question, we're absolutely happy to help. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, now we'll open it up for any questions that anyone may have.
I have a question, Steve.
Sure.
Just want to know, is there a cost to your human resource consultation services at all? Any costs whatsoever?
There's no cost to any of the services. So no, any of those things on the list that I mentioned, no cost.
Okay, thank you.
As I mentioned, we wanted to keep this to an hour maximum, but if anyone does have any questions after this presentation, you have our information, just reach out to us. We're here to help. So if there's no questions, feel free to contact us.
Okay. Well, I want to take the opportunity to thank and to remind everyone that this event has been recorded and we will be e-blasting it out over the next few weeks. So if you're a member of the chamber, watch for your e-blasts, and you can review it or tell other people that you know in business that this is coming out on a regular basis and they can watch for it. It will also be on our website. So if you want to go to our website, you'll find it there. It'll probably take about a short period of time to get it on the site. But I want to thank all the presenters. Thank you, Laurie and Steve, for your presentation. And I want to thank as well the attendees for taking the time to come out and review this very valuable opportunity. So thank you, everyone, for being here today. And hopefully you gain some critical knowledge regarding this very valuable opportunity, shared work.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.